Big shots from the Splash Brothers late as the Warriors pull off a 9-2 game-ending run to save their season and bring the NBA Finals back to Oracle Arena for one more. Raptors have two more chances to win their first championship. Here's Raptors head coach Nick Nurse.
Okay.
Mark, first question on your right.
Hi, Nick. Mark Schwartz, ESPN. What was the moment like for you and for your team when Kevin Durant went down, was injured, and was helped off the court?
Well, for me, I really felt for him, right? I know he was probably not 100%, and he gave it a shot tonight, right? And just made a, kind of a move on his own, and he went down kind of on his own, I think, without a collision or landing on something. So you knew it was probably, not good, But the moment for me is I love KD, love watching him play, and I when anybody goes down, you're saddened by it. But when one of the great players like that goes down, it's almost shocking.
Next question, fifth row.
Nick Lewis, Atzman, Raptors Republic. It seemed like after that, the next few minutes, execution waned on both sides. The crowd quieted down. How would you describe the aura in the arena for the next 5-10 minutes after the injury?
Well, again, I don't get a lot of that aura, but I did get some reaction from guys on our bench, and some of the guys on our bench were really shook up. And I even know at halftime when they came out and I don't know what the official word is, but somebody on the bench said he tore something, and I know Kyle, was on the bench sitting there and was shook up by that, and both Clay and Steph stopped and talked to Kyle there at halftime on our bench about it. So I think it's always a little eerie feeling for everybody when something like that happens on a big stage like this.
Third row on your right.
Nick, over here, Lucas Meyer, News Talk 1010 Toronto. Two questions. One on the last play, Kyle's shot there in the corner, just coming out of the timeout. Is that kind of a shot you were hoping to get, kind of staggered out of the top of the key? And then a broader question, we saw the team walking out of Game 4, all business, not really celebrating, not getting too high in the moment after a tough loss like this. How confident are you in the team being able to respond, going back to Golden State for Game 6?
I mean, we didn't take a timeout there on that last play, right? But we let them play, and Kawhi had it, and they doubled him, and he moved it to Fred, who moved it to Kyle, and we just didn't quite have enough space there. I thought it looked like it was going to be a really good shot, an open corner three, but I didn't see who got out there and got a piece of it. But again, I was confident we would come down and play and make the right decisions and get a good shot. I have a lot of faith in those guys. And as far as your second question, we don't really have much choice. And I think that our team has reacted all year long great to bad losses. And I would say it takes a lot to beat this team. And that took a hell of a lot of blows and a heck of a lot of balls bouncing the wrong way, in the last couple minutes. For us to come out on the wrong side of it tonight. But I'm super proud of the guys. Man, they played their guts out, kept on fighting, and put themselves in position to win it.
Tim, standing in the back right.
Nick, Tim Reynolds for the AP. To sort of elaborate on what you were just saying, I mean, if this thing had gone to plan, you're supposed to be up 3-2 right now. I mean, that's what, that's where home court is. You're supposed to be up 3-2 at this point.
Yeah.
Having said that, is it hard for you to not look at tonight as an opportunity loss?
No, not hard at all, Tim. I think that I always, I think after Game 2 in the Philly series, I said, listen, I expect this to be a long series, right? I expect this one to be a long series. I'm not sitting here trying to think we should be this, be that. But if you'd have probably told me at the start of this thing, if we could fast forward to a 3-2 lead, you want to take it, I'd probably say yes.
Steve on the left side here.
Well, that's exactly where the Raptors are right now. Kevin Durant, all day long, his status was upgraded to eventually playing and starting, and dancing a little bit before Game 5 as well. So the Hamptons 5 got the start tonight for the Warriors. They were 7-3 all-time in the postseason as a starting unit, and Durant was ridiculously good. No one had any right to expect what they got out of Durant in his 12 minutes on the floor, including 3 made threes without a miss.
I mean, he was beautiful. I mean, every shot that he made, when it left his fingertips, you knew it was going in. And this is the play that, you know, he goes between his legs and he puts that pressure on that calf. And, you know, hopefully, you know, we don't know what it is, but we know it's not good.
They gave him 10 minutes in the first quarter. He came out for a little bit, came back out for the second quarter, and then this happened. It actually happened before that moment, right about there. You can see the vibration in his right calf from whatever took place there, and he knew it immediately that he was done for the night. To their credit, in this roller coaster moment, it was interesting to hear Nick Nurse talk about the Raptors' reaction to this as well. The crowd, by the way, immediately cheered the injury and then thought better of it. The emotions got to them. Some of the players encouraged them to tone it down a little bit and eventually clapped him off.
Yeah, I thought that the cheer was more of, yeah, okay, he's hurt, but then right away it was more of appreciation of what had just happened, and, you know, acknowledging the greatness in Durant, as we see Leonard and Steph having, you know, great moments.
Leonard, that was a rarity for him early in this game. He was 4 of his first 15. Steph knocking down threes.
And that's a hard shot to be able to backpedal and stay on balance and shoot a three contested. That's unbelievable as a three-point shooter. You don't see a lot of guys being able to do that.
See the Warriors, they built a 12-point lead, actually got to 14, and then the Raptors came right back and cut it to 7. Kyle Lowry, crafty as always. And we go to the fourth. Golden State had a 6-point lead. Durant limps off on crutches with a boot on that right foot, and we await a diagnosis as an MRI planned for tomorrow. More from Lowry. Hesitation, and finds Serge Ibaka for the dunk. And it's a 3-point game with just under 8 minutes to go.
And Matt, Toronto just was chipping away, and this man right here took over, hit some big shots. I think 10 in a row, 2 threes, 2 drives. And you kind of felt like Toronto was in control and might win and pull out this game the way Leonard was playing.
12-2 run for the Raptors. Kawhi, as Grant mentioned, scored 10 in a row during that stretch.
Yeah, he was going to work. I played with the big fundamental. This is the medium fundamental. I mean, he was going to work.
He's the extra quiet fundamental. Klay Thompson off a screen.
Oh, my God.
Knocks that down. Thompson, 7 of 13 from three-point range. Steph, he knocked down 5 threes. This one didn't go. Cuz comes in. Because it happened with 1:59 left instead of 2:01, it's reviewable. They called basket interference and upheld it on review, which may be controversial in some circles. Steph, there's one of those 5 threes.
Man, that's tough.
That ties it. And then somehow Klay Thompson is all by himself.
Isaiah, you always talk about the pump fake. That pump fake got him a better, cleaner look that he knocked down.
But look at the pass. But look at the passing, Smitty. Iguodala, Green, hot potato right there. And as you said, nice little pump. You gotta honor that.
You gotta honor that one. That's the one you gotta jump out of the paint.
And again, it amazes me how often they get wide open on the three-point line in terms of execution.
I thought the Warriors' ball movement generally was better tonight. We got a backcourt violation. We had so many things going on here in the last couple of minutes.
Could have been a foul.
Yeah, it could have been that as well. Lowry passed Cousins. That's also called the goaltend. So Cousins picks up essentially goaltends on both ends of the floor. That one was upheld as well. And then an offensive foul on Cousins. So a rough couple of minutes here late for Cuz despite doing yeoman's work for most of the night. And that's clearly an offensive foul on the screen.
Yeah, and you have to credit, you know, Jim Capers right there for making that call, calling the offensive foul, calling the moving screen. Too many times at the end of the game we see that situation not called.
Last possession,
is where Draymond Green was just, I mean, it was just impeccable defense. Iguodala coming over to help, forcing the ball out of Leonard's hand, and then Draymond making the help and recover play, challenging the shot in the corner. Just beautiful championship closeout defense.
And he was credited with a block on that final play. It was kind of hard to tell. They knocked down 23, second most in NBA Finals history, and closed the gap. It's now a 3-2 Toronto lead, as Golden State has now won 7 of their last 9 in the postseason when facing elimination. Here's General Manager Bob Myers with injury updates on Durant, Looney, and whoever else might be hurt on this roster now.
So he'll take a couple from our local media only. We want to take care of the Bay Area media, those people who cover us all the time. So he'll start with an opening statement on KD and take a couple of questions, realizing we're not going to have more answers until tomorrow. So go ahead and start, Bob.
Kevin had it's an Achilles injury. I don't know the extent of it. He'll have an MRI tomorrow. Prior to coming back, he went through 4 weeks with our medical team, and it was thorough, and it was experts and multiple MRIs and multiple doctors. And we felt good about the process. He was cleared to play tonight. That was a collaborative decision. I don't believe there's anybody to blame, but I understand this world. And if you have to, you can blame me. I run our basketball operations department, and let me tell you something about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant loves to play basketball, and the people that questioned whether he wanted to get back to this team were wrong. And I'm not here to... He's one of the most misunderstood people. He's a good teammate. He's a good person. It's not fair. I'm lucky to know him. I don't know, I don't have all the information on what really, the extent of what it all means until we get an MRI. But the people that worked with him and cleared him are good people. They're good people.
Mark, first question in the front.
Bob, Mark, Medina Bay Area News Group. With all due respect, what's your reasoning to point the finger at you?
Because I am the president of basketball. If you have to. And I don't think there's anybody to blame, but I get it. That stuff happens. I hope nobody does. I don't think it should land on anybody, but if you feel like you need to.
Anything else?
Ann in the middle.
Ann Kelly in San Francisco Chronicle. Can you just talk about Kevin's emotions and how he is feeling right now?
You know, sports is, it's people. Sports is people. I know Kevin takes a lot of hits sometimes, but he just wants to play basketball. And right now he can't. And basketball has gotten him through his life. So it means, I don't know that we can all understand how much it means to him. He just wants to play basketball with his teammates and compete.
Last question. Chris over here on the left.
Chris Haynes, Yahoo Sports. Bob, to your left, over in the corner right here. Initially, you guys diagnosed him with a calf injury. Was that the pure, full-out extent? Was it the calf injury? Now, what happened tonight equated to an Achilles injury?
Yeah, the initial injury was a calf injury. This is not a calf injury. I'm not a doc. I don't know how those are related or not. But it's a different injury.
Thank you, Bob.
A really extraordinary media availability from President of Basketball Operations, Bob Myers. As for the nuts and bolts of it, he said Kevin Durant has an Achilles injury. They don't know the extent of it yet. He said he and the medical staff felt, quote, good about process, and said it was a, quote, collaborative decision to clear Durant to play. And you heard the emotions of it as well. It's unlike anything I can recall seeing in the context of the NBA Finals. What'd you come away with there?
Well, I've had this injury before. I actually tore my Achilles, and it was on a very similar move like that. And his reaction to it was the exact same one that many of us have had when we've torn our Achilles. And I also started out with a slight tear, and when it was diagnosed, I remember the trainer telling me that you're going to tear your Achilles at some point in time because you have a slight tear in it. Now, you can either play on it or you can rest it, but that slight tear is not going to heal. So, you come to the conclusion and the decision in your mind that, okay, I'm just going to go out and play on it, and when it tears, it just tears. And that's what happened to me. I don't know if this is what has happened here tonight, but I do understand the emotion of the president of Bob Myers in terms of what they've gone through, the journey that they've gone through over these years, the ups and the downs. And when one player gives his all and lays it all out on the line and puts it out for you, I mean, you can't ask for no more than that. And Kevin Durant did that for his team tonight.
Yeah, and I think Grant and Isiah, I mean, it's just so unfortunate because I know it's so much just build up, the pressure of playing, especially being down 3-1. I think this changes if it was 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not in the mind of a Kevin Durant or know anything information. I just think because of 3-1 elimination game, possibly for the Warriors, it makes you change because it's a brotherhood. You're on a team, you want to play, you're one of the best in the world, and you know you can make a difference what you did. And, and obviously, Grant, you've been through so much in situations like that. That was a tough call.
It is a tough call, and hearing both of you talk, and certainly Bob Myers, it brings back memories for me where, I wasn't obviously in the finals, but in the playoffs and had an injury, and it wasn't quite the collaborative effort. I mean, I'm sure KD had his people take a look at it, and doctors all sort of signed off before he was permitted to play, and that's just, I'm assuming, making that assumption that was the case. But we're basketball players. Yeah. And, I know for me it sort of changed the trajectory of my career in terms of what I was able to accomplish. But, you live with regret. And I think as much as I regretted playing and putting myself through that, I probably would have regretted it more by not playing.
Yes.
And so I say that to say that a guy like Kevin Durant, you understand this is the finals. Mm-hmm. And this is a chance to win another championship. You've been with these guys. Forget about the future. Forget about all the speculation that we all talk about in the media. You're in, as you said, it's a brotherhood. You're in here every day. This is family. You're going for a championship. So I know, as bad as he feels right now, I know there's a feeling that, hey, you know what, I gave it my all, and there's a respect in that locker room that irrespective of what happens going forward, they will respect him for going out there, lacing it up, and as you said, leaving it all out there on the court.
Yeah.
Again,
we do.
No question.
We all do.
You know what was impressive? The Raptors did right when it happened.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And they're in the finals as well.
Yeah.
And you can see the emotion that came over most of those players just because of the brotherhood, even though you're going against each other, what he just went through.
Lowry and others went to Kevin Durant. You saw some of the players also quieting down the crowd when they realized what was going on. Kevin Durant he left the building. There was going to be no media availability for him with the injury anyway, but he left the building and he has posted to Instagram, going to be loud as you know what for Game 6. I'm hurting deep in the soul right now, he wrote. I can't lie, but seeing my brothers get this win was like taking a shot of tequila. I got new life. Is that what tequila does?
In this case, yeah, he probably needs a couple of shots.
Yeah. Some Sherlin champagne.
Yeah, he needs some. Exactly, anything. But I respect what he's done, how he's going about doing it, and laying it all on the line. And as he said, he's hurt deep in his soul, because when you know it's the end, right? And you can't go out and play anymore that next day. There's no next practice for him, and it's going to be this Achilles injury. If it's what we think it is, it's a long recovery, and he's going to do it. But having it happen in the finals and not being able to continue on, I know it hurts him deeply. But his teammates respect him for doing it.
And for sure, I mean, no matter what. When you can't play this game anymore, whether it's 2 games, 3 games, because we laid so much and put so much into it, it hurts. And it's hard to describe. And people around you say, you just missed a couple games. It hurts.
Yeah.
I know it hurts a lot.
Well, and also, too, it's been 25 years since you hurt your Achilles. I think, although it's a long, arduous recovery, I think assuming that's what it is, I think he'll be able to get back. I just think with technology, the way they operate, the way they rehab now, I think he'll get back to being an all-star superstar. It may take some time, but I think he'll get back to that level.
And he'll still get max this summer, right? He's still one of the all-time great players and one of the best on the planet. If you have to wait a little while longer, going to be plenty of teams lining up to give him a max contract this summer, regardless of what the diagnosis is. When we find out something maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Klay Thompson, huge threes down the stretch along with his running mate Steph Curry. He is on his way to the desk, we're told, and we'll talk to him when we come back.